Hello everyone, Chetan Bharat Learning welcomes everybody to yet another session on critical reasoning, logical reasoning. Great, so we're going to discuss a couple of more questions, maybe a little more than just a couple of questions. But before that, let me ask you something really important. Are you practicing what we have learned over the last few weeks or not? If you're not, then you're doing a great disservice to yourself, because if we teach here, right, and you do not practice it, then our efforts will be negated, will be nullified, neutralized. You will not have any benefit, right? So if you really want to gain some advantage, some edge over others, then you need to practice what you're learning. Great, let's begin. The first passage. Some readers wondered whether my reading of the crisis in the news media is about journalism, या फिर about the news industry. News industry is in itself a complete industry, right? Which serves news to us, which feeds news to us. Sometimes negative news, sometimes over positive news, sometimes balanced news. I'm not going to name the news channels, the different news channels, but if you watch news channels, one news channel has one particular ideology, another news channel will, show news based on another ideology. All factors come into play anyhow. So, though the fortunes of the industry have a bearing on journalism, वो journalism पर असर छोड़ते हैं, there is indeed a difference between looking at issues that govern journalism and the factors that contribute to the financial stress of the media industry. Do financial aspects make a great deal of difference? Do they determine what kind of news we watch? Do they determine the analysis of the person reading news? And do we believe that analysis? XYZ मान लेते हैं. Let's say there is somebody जो मेरे सामने he or she is reading news, and I trust that somebody, and he belongs to a particular ideology. He agrees with a particular ideology, agrees to a particular ideology rather, right? And accordingly, or in accordance with his agreement to that particular ideology, he or she will say a few things, right? He or she will analyze, the newsreader will analyze a particular news. And 8 out of 10 times, I shall buy the story. I shall believe what the newsreader is saying. And finance makes a great deal of difference. So is the media absolutely fair? I'm afraid it's not. Right, so over the past few years, I have been discussing the impact of digitalization on news media, absolutely correct. Therefore, ये जो issues हैं, इनको थोड़ा close scrutiny चाहिए. We need to delve deep into these issues. One of the defining elements, बहुत crucial elements of analog journalism was the way two crucial functions of journalism. कौन से? Bearing witness and making sense. सही होना चाहिए, bearing witness, यानी witness होना चाहिए उसको, right? Provable होना चाहिए, and it should make sense. ये नहीं कि न्यूज में आ रहा है आज एक ठेले पे इतने आलू गिर गए, देखिए कितने कैसे आलू गिर गए, फिर कितने लोगों ने मिलकर वो आलू उठाए. That really doesn't make sense, right? Complemented each other and helped people make informed choices. Yes, it should direct the ideology of people. It should help people form an unbiased opinion, a fair opinion. Actually, it is not the case though. When I talk about the strength of analog, मैं romanticize नहीं कर रहा हूँ the past, nor I am a Luddite. Most importantly, I do not believe in nostalgia. So कह रहे हैं कि मैं past की कोई वो नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि अब खराब है, past में अच्छा था. मैं तो nostalgia में believe ही नहीं करता. Nostalgia क्या होता है? When we think of something that happened in the past and derive pleasure out of it. When we recall our pleasure, rather past happily. Many scholars have established how rose-colored glasses always lead to an unfair distortion. Looking back on the best of the past while comparing it to the worst of the present. So if I compare today's world, right? Let's say I'm talking about the Indian cricket team. In 2011, we won the World Cup. In 83, we had won a cricket World Cup. Before that, right? So if I talk about the two World Cups, the two World Cup victories, and if I start comparing, right, the present debacles, the present fiascos of the Indian cricket team, which is not doing really well these days, do you think that the comparison is a fair one? May not be, because the situations have changed. So वो कह रहे हैं जब भी ऐसा होता है, so हमारे सामने जो facts आते हैं वो distorted facts आएंगे. So if you present the challenges of the present regime, the present government, with the one which got us rather, which got an rather a newly independent India in 1947, दोनों के challenges are quite different, right? आज के challenges are different. The government is facing different challenges. The government there in 1947 was facing different challenges. So we should not compare. So hence, when I talk about the digital information news environment, मैं किसके बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ? How there needs to be a conducive atmosphere to credible information to resonate with the people. So it should be credible. Now, what is credible? Something that is believable, something that makes sense, that is logical, that is based on rationale. Something that makes sense. It's as simple as that. If news doesn't make sense, if news is not credible, it won't do a good service to you, to me, even to news channels. Literature on misinformation, mind you, misinformation, disinformation. Misinformation is wrong information, disinformation is lack of it, right? And misinformation reveals a new distinction in the minds of the citizens. Editors, journalists, these have to be contended with a new breed of skeptics who don't believe. These are the people who trust social media forwards more than evidence-based, data-driven journalism. So, what do people believe these days? If I happen to post a video on WhatsApp, quoting that such and thing happened there, two communities fought with each other, those negative things will spread like fire. Probably even faster than fire does. Right? So the crux of the matter is that people don't believe in news, rather they believe in social media sites, websites. Because people are WhatsApp educated. They're doing degrees from WhatsApp University, Facebook University, Insta, YouTube. Their confirmation bias flows from encrypted social media platforms that are full of conspiracy theories. So, you know what? There are powerful people who even use this to their advantage. They know that we are gullible, right? They know that we do accept, more often than not, everything highlighted by the social media. You need to be careful, my dear friends. I need to be careful as well. Okay. So in this line, hence, when talk about the digital information news and environment, I'm talking about how there needs to be conducive. Conducive is something that gives way to it, that supports it, right? Okay, so credible information to resonate with the people. The author assumes that digital news is neither evidence-based nor data-driven. No, he did not say that. Rather, he says the opposite. This is ignored by people. Digital journalism does not help people in making informed choices. This is there, but this is not alone. I mean, only on its own, it cannot be the correct answer. Digital journalism does not help people in making informed choices. Absolutely right. He says, but again, on its own, alone, this cannot be the correct answer either. A and B, we may pick this one. The impact of digital journalism has created an informed platform. No, not at all. See, when he talks about digitalization, he talks about social media sites also. So, these are not evidence-based. How do we know that? See? Content, the new readers, these are the people who trust social media forwards So these are more than the evidence based. So these are not evidence based either. So he says both these. Next one, which of the following strengthens the author's argument? Conspiracy theories have become an alternative truth. What is an alternative truth? You believe that fighting in the name of religion is bad. I believe that fighting in the name of religion is bad. A conspiracy theory will make some other people believe that fighting in the name of religion is required. This is just an example. That's absolutely correct. The pandemic is the only reason behind the dependence of people now. The new industry is witnessing a tremendous change. Not at all. Not at all. A, clearly, is the correct answer. What does the author indicate when he quotes that rose-colored glasses always lead to unfair distortion? Not at all. Author means to say that he does not have any disproportionate bias. Absolutely correct. If we are biased, the analyses will be wrong. So this is the correct answer. Next one. If anything, the novel coronavirus disease pandemic has taught us to rethink our lifestyles and question our need to travel to work every day. Absolutely. My takeaway is that I can survive. I can survive in a lesser amount of money if I control my desire to visit the shopping malls too often. Okay. After all, in the age of the internet, Zoom meetings and webinars can be virtually conducted and physical distancing is possible. True. A large nature of work in cities is of tertiary nature, a major part of which can be done from home. ज़्यादातर काम वो है जो घर से किया जा सकता है. Now this can affect the way offices function, बिल्कुल, and reduce the need for all employees to be physically present every day. For example, these classes जो हम आपके साथ कर रहे हैं, है ना? आपको यहाँ आने की जरूरत नहीं है. Information technology companies are already contemplating, plan कर रही हैं, सोच रही हैं, a move of making many of their employees work from home and make this a new normal. Although in some professions we must not promote it, but anyhow, कहीं जगह चल भी सकता है. If more firms follow suit, then the need for huge office buildings and central business districts would change. So उतना खर्चा organizations को करना भी नहीं पड़ेगा. Apartments cannot get bigger at the same rate, and people may not have space or atmosphere to work from home. ये भी एक बात बिल्कुल सही है. This would mean that more people would opt for co-working spaces. So जैसे घर तो सबके एक जैसे बड़े नहीं हैं. So जैसे 4-5 employees हो गए, they will join and decide on a co-working space closer to their homes. This could be a game changer because it would provide the cities to better distribute their activities throughout the spaces and rid themselves of the idea of zoning. We won't have zones, ये office zone, यहाँ सारे offices हैं, यहाँ पे सारे apartments हैं, like that. Only कुछ ही professionals हैं who are allowed to function from residential zones, including doctors, lawyers, architects, etc. Now this needs serious rethinking. Absolutely correct. Many more professions of similar nature, जो इन्हीं के जैसे nature के हैं, which do not disturb surrounding residents and have no requirements of special services, should be added to the list. जिनमें कोई special services की जरूरत नहीं है. This new work culture would bring associated demand for food, joints, cafes. ये भी बन सकते हैं ये common workplaces. चलिए, consider the following statement. Work from home culture is a sustainable method of business, correct? And should be extended to all professions. Which of the following weakens? अब हमें वो ऑप्शन चाहिए जो weaken करेगा, कमजोर करेगा, जो कहेगा ऐसा नहीं है. Not every type of profession fits in the work. So अगर not every type of profession fits in the work from home culture, then ये तो weak हो गया, तो A तो होना ही चाहिए, right? ठीक है. अगर सब कुछ fit नहीं होता इसमें, so फिर how will we implement it? Work from home impacts a person's mental health. Actually it does. ये भी weaken ही कर रहा है. So first two तो हो गए. C क्या है? C both A and B. ठीक. So this is the correct answer. एक और नुकसान वर्क फ्रॉम होम का ये हो सकता है, वी लर्न लेस जब हम ऑफिस नहीं जाते। चलिए, which of the following weakens the author's argument that work from home culture will enable better city planning? इसमें भी weaken ही कर रहा है। Development of co-working spaces will further create chaos. It will create chaos. में तो ये तो है definitely, because यहां भी ये बन गया, जोनिंग हट जाएगी ना, तो यहां ऑफिस से साथ में घर है, फिर एक जगह वॉशरूम बने, फिर एक दुकान है, फिर उसके साथ में ऑफिस है, लाइक दैट। City planning is not only about reducing spaces. I believe this is also correct. Work from home will also reduce the flow of money. This is also correct. So, all of the above. Right. So, the next one. Government has tightened security checks at all important places. Incidents of terrorist attacks are increasing. Now, because this is happening, the government has tightened the security. So, this is the cause. This is the effect. So, statement 2 is the cause and statement 1 its effect. Correct answer. B. Next one. Police authority has recently caught a group of housebreakers. तो जब पुलिस अथॉरिटी ने पकड़ा होगा, they must have, spread the news. उसी वजह से the citizen groups in the locality have started night vigil, क्योंकि अब बात फैल गई है, इसीलिए this is the cause and this is the effect. Next one. The government has decided to allow private universities, क्या allow किया, to run their own courses, private universities को, after obtaining approvals. There has been a continuous decrease in the number of students enrolled. तो क्योंकि वहां पर enrollment कम हो गई है, educate तो करना है ना लोगों को, इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट ने allow किया है कि आप यहां पे भी कर लें. Therefore, B is the correct answer. 1 is the effect. Next one. The wholesale vegetable market is flooded with fresh stock. ये बहुत आसान है. The government has recently increased the procurement. क्योंकि फ्लड आ गया है, बहुत सारा आ गए हैं wholesale vegetables, right? इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट ने डिसाइड किया है to increase the procurement price. ज्यादा हो गया ना? School authority has decided to increase tuition fee by 30%. Okay. The government has urged the local public to enroll all their children. ये independent है, एक दूसरे से related directly नहीं है. Therefore, D. Fine. That brings us to an end to this session. I hope you've been able to understand all the questions and answers. बहुत जल्द आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी. Take care. Bye bye.